Thanks a lot for joining us again on TVC Breakfast. To the papers now, and we begin with the Punch newspaper. The big story there is captioned, it's an update on the minimum wage increment of 70,000 naira as federal government begins payment. Salaries rise to 4 trillion naira. 1.2 million federal workers to earn 334.9 billion naira monthly. Also, NLC TUC praised the federal government. There's a picture story now, a sad one from Kenya about the 21 children who were killed in a school fire have now been buried. And why my admin suspended CBN governor at the time, Sanusi, that's according to former President Jonathan. FG probing bandit sponsors defense headquarters is quoted as saying on Bobrisky, reps commence probe, prison controllers suspended. All right, that's for the Punch. The Nation newspaper is having a splash of several stories, among which are federal government's cushioning effects of reforms, say ministers. 20 million Nigerians get cash support. Petrol subsidy removal has opened sector to investment. Why marketers cannot purchase petrol from Dangote refinery. Pengassan chief X-rays pricing crisis as House of Reps makes case for marketers. Under 18 pupils will not sit for WASC. Minister insists. Senate passes Southwest Development Commission bill. Jonathan refutes Emma Sanusi's claim on missing $49.8 billion scandal. Silent Times is next. FG targets food sufficiency with new agricultural reform plan as Edu says that procured imported staple foods to tackle shortages. That's Wale Adu there, the coordinating minister for the economy. On the floods, 11 lives lost, 6,800 plus households affected in Niger. Ogun sets to immunize more than 1 million children against polio, measles and others. FG to toll Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, second Niger Bridge and others. Bobrisky says, I'm now having suicidal thoughts, deletes all Instagram posts. Next is Blueprint. Akume, that's the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, regarding the 64th independence anniversary of Nigeria, says renewed hope agenda, long-term solutions to our challenges. 10 years after Sanusi's sack, Jonathan opens up on missing $49.8 billion fund. Meanwhile, the Emma is quoted as saying, I bear no grudges against former president. All right, and from the United Nations General Assembly, ExxonMobil unveils $10 billion deepwater investment in Nigeria. CJN to inaugurate 87 senior advocates of Nigeria as Supreme Court marks legal year. That's all on the Blueprint. And on the Leadership Friday, ahead of October the 1st, Tinubu's ministers struggle to defend reforms, say they will make Nigeria economic superpower, blame past missteps for hardship. President orders low-key independence celebration. 5 to die by hanging for Offa Bank robbery, and court rejects APC's prayer to stop Kano local government election. Finally, with me is First News. Bobrisky under fire. That's the lead caption as National Assembly launches investigation into bribery allegations amid prison scandal. Government takes action. Officials suspended as investigation deepens. And more dramatic revelations loom, with very dark man claiming to have more damning evidence. Cholera outbreak claims 10 lives in Ebonyi State. That's also on First News. FG defends SSCE age restriction, accuses parents of rushing underage students. FG imports maize, wheat to combat food shortages, says Finance Minister. Ibraheem.
Well, the first with me here is a Daily News Hub. Flood. Okay, let me start with the screaming headline. Guba poll lost. Edo government house deserted. Obaseki disappears. As Deputy Omobayo, other government functionaries relocate from Benin. Obaseki, others' absence paralyzes government activities. On the ear of the newspaper, flood, 11 killed, 41,192 persons displaced in Niger. Nigeria didn't lose $49.8 billion under my watch. That's according to Jonathan. Disclose price of your petrol, reps tell Dangote refinery. Ganduje, APC governors Okpebolo, Shaibu meets Tinubu in Aso Rock. Senate passes Southwest Development Commission bill. On the bottom strip, new minimum wage. Federal government begins payments to civil servants. Next is Daily Times. $49.8 billion didn't miss under my watch. Jonathan replies, Emir Sanusi explains why Kano Emir was suspended as CBN governor. I was constructively dismissed by ex-president, says Sanusi. Bobrisky, federal government suspends senior prison officers over infractions. Allow independent marketers lift fuel from Dangote refinery. Reps urge federal government. Ember months, FRSC unveils new master plan to reduce road crashes. And the oil gas industry owes federal government $6 billion, 66 billion naira. That's according to the report by Naiti. Then over 65 terrorist leaders, commanders killed in 3 months. That's according to the defense headquarters. On the bottom strip, NDIC commences sale of Heritage Bank assets to compensate uninsured depositors. Next is Voice of Liberty. Renewed Kaduna Restoration Group proposes 25 constitutional amendments for strengthening democracy. Federal government proposes NIMASA, NPA, to collect fees, charges in Naira. ExxonMobil proposes $10 billion investment in Nigeria's deep water oil. Zamfara bandit kingpins, Sonny Black, Kachala, Makori, killed. Cabinet reshuffle. 11 ministers may lose their jobs. Source. Bajabi Amila may be replaced with Fashola. Next is Platform Times. NDIC shuts down 651 banks in 30 years, strengthens consumer protection measures. Federal government to toll Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, second Niger Bridge. Others, that's according to Minister. More than 2,500 telecom professionals left Nigeria in 2022, NCC. Obasanjo decries Japa syndrome, the syndrome impact on Nigeria's health sector, calls for urgent action. Federal government suspends senior prison officials over alleged bribery linked to Bobrisky. Above the masthead, 15 million bribery. Bobrisky talks tough, demands open investigation. APC accuses NNPP of plotting to prosecute Kano Council post with local government funds. Rising hunger. Federal government scrambles to import staple foods amid soaring inflation. Next is Nigerian News Direct. Petrol importation down 14% as oil companies owe federal government over $6 billion. Naiti reports. Federal government suspends 4 correctional service officers over Bobrisky's alleged 15 million naira bribe. You see that on page 13. Alleged missing $49.8 billion. Sanusi, Jonathan exchange words over sack as CBN governor. AfriInvest partners Western Union on diaspora investments remittance. 79th hunger. Federal government secures $600,000 relief fund from Gates Foundation. Financial inclusion critical in tackling poverty. That's according to the CEO of First Bank. Next is the Matrix. Fresh controversy rocks oil gas industry. $6 billion, 66 billion naira debts, unpaid royalties, taxes saga rocks industry. EFCC swings into action to probe companies fingered in report. Otedola acquires additional 16 billion naira shares, extends stakes in FBN Holdings to 13.15%. Federal government begins payment of new minimum wage to civil servants. Nigeria did not lose $49.8 billion under my watch. Jonathan fires back at MS Sanusi II. The Defense Headquarters speaks out on investigation of minister and others linked to banditry. Next is Daily Trust. Flood displaces 82 communities in Niger. We used canoes to evacuate our families. Situation worrisome. Council Chair. 19 local government areas affected this year. SEMA DG. 4 local government areas cut off in Borno. 50 million Almajirai out of school children roaming Nigeria's streets. That's according to federal government. Tour operators suspend registration for 2025 Hajj. Offer bank robbers to die by hanging after 6-year trial. Federal government suspends prisons officers over Bobrisky allegation. Hardship. Tinubu orders low-key 64th independence celebration. Next, and last but not least, is the Nation Sporting Live. Boniface admits, I don't like the EPL. Amid Chelsea-Tottenham links, reveals preferred destinations. Osimhen assures, my first gala goal is close. David Raya, doubtful over Arsenal versus Leicester. Solskjaer open to Man United return despite sack. Arteta praises Sterling. Iguavoin continues in Eagles' role as Madugu takes over Super Falcons. Flying Eagles get tough. Under 20 AFCON draw. That's about it for the newspapers this morning. Kemi.
Yes, indeed. Those are the headline stories. Of course, it's not always it's not advised to run with just the headline stories. We hope we've teased you all enough to go on and get needed information. Some of them we've taken up on the program so far. We've been following up on them. We will also be speaking some more about what you must have noticed, updates regarding the Bobrisky saga. That is also still very much prominent in the papers at the federal, level. The House of Reps have also initiated or say they will initiate investigation into this, in addition to what we've already seen, talking about the suspension of some key officers of the Nigeria Corrections. All right.